The Express are coached by Bill Jones. All right, Titans fans, let's make some noise for them. They're with us all season long. Here are your KW Titans Dance Pack. Let's hear it for your Titans Dance Pack. They are proudly sponsored all season long by Control Hair.
Hold up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, yeah. Yeah. Get out the way, get the up out my way, yeah. Yeah. You either with me or against me, though. You either with me or win. Win. Yeah. Curve everything else. Win. These ops ain't lit. Mommy. Win. Start chasing that chip. Stop. Win. Yeah. Big J Rocco on 10. Exit at 4. Bring friends. That black two-door. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, yeah.
And now, make some noise for the home five, wearing white, your KW Titans. A 6'2" guard from Scarborough, Ontario, number 1, Ashton Smith. A 6'7" forward from Carson, California, number 4, Justin Strings. A 6'3" guard from Shreveport, Louisiana, number 8, Ed Horton. A 6'3" guard from Toronto, Ontario, number 9, Tramar Sutherland. And a 6'7" forward from Detroit, Michigan, number 24, Flynn Woodfield. The Titans are coached by Cavell Johnson with his assistants Rob Damiani, Jody Moore, and Mike Quigley. The officials for tonight's contest, Farnu Kazimzadi, Caleb Chua, and Tommy Wu. Ladies and gentlemen, we told you tonight is our city night, so please join me in welcoming Kitchener Mayor Barry Vervanovic and Waterloo Mayor Dave Jaworski to center court for tonight's ceremonial tip-off. We'd like to invite Anthony Otley Jr. from the Express and Greg Morrow from the KW Titans to participate in tonight's ceremonial tip. Coaching a special game at halftime. All right, we are ready for tip-off, Titans fans. It's Saturday night. It's
minutes from the bench tonight.
Hall in his last 2 games has averaged just about 8.5 points a game, 6.5 rebounds over those 2. The previous 14 before that combined was averaging just under 15 and just under 10. So a drastic drop-off for their number 1 center, and the move has been made. Whitfield, who started the year in the starting 5, well, he's back in. He missed a few games due to injury before the new year, and he'll get a chance. The starting 5 for the KW Titans: Ashton Smith, Justin Strings, Ed Horton, Shamar Sutherland, and of course the addition of Flenn Whitfield for the Express. Juan Patillo, DeAndre Thomas, Tyrell Tate, Horace Wormley, and Ryan Anderson round out the starting 5. The Express come in having won 4 in a row. They got off to a rough start to their season, but now they're on a roll. They just went to Sudbury and beat the 5. That's coming off a home win against the Lightning. Patillo and Witt on your screens at home in their road blacks. Here's Wormley. Works up top to Patillo, straightaway jumper, banks it in. And the Express strike first.
Probably not the best shot from Juan Patillo, and he knows that, backpedaling to the defensive end of the court, but a good start there for Windsor as they hit their first shot of the game, getting a little bit of help from the backboard.
Strings, left-hand dribble slashing out to Horton for an open 3. Shot won't go. Wormley chases down the rebound, ahead to Tate. Tried to leave it for Patillo in the paint, but that'll be a clean turnover, Titans basketball.
And Tyrell Tate, right after that play, acknowledged he should have just gone up and put that ball up, as Juan Patillo had the positioning to get that offensive rebound for the Express. Good break there from the KW Titans. That 3-point miss by Ed Horton, we saw him hit a couple 3-pointers in the fourth quarter against London to whittle that lead down as close as possible, and KW actually grab a lead at one point.
Horton, well, he's missed his first 2 shots. Wormley ahead to Thomas, and he scores over Flenn Whitfield.
Well, that physical battle down low, same height between DeAndre Thomas and Flenn Whitfield, but the weight difference, DeAndre Thomas standing at 295 pounds, just driving himself to the basket.
Smith, the drive, draws a foul. Thomas, he's going to pick up his first. We saw this exact same matchup exactly 2 weeks ago. The Titans, that was their 4th win of their 5-game win streak. DeAndre Thomas had to sit out most of that one as he got into some early foul trouble. He has 1 already. The officials tonight: Farnoon Kazimzadi, the crew chief, Caleb Chua, and Tommy Wu. As Smith, no good on the first. Smith has been very good despite the Titans' losing skid. Anderson, too strong on the 3. And the rebound by Ed Horton. Here's Smith, pulls up for the jump shot over Tate. Misses. Anderson leaves it for Patillo and floats it out. Their small point guard, Horace Wormley. Playing his first season in Windsor. Had some experience in St. John last year. Also played in the Drew League this past summer as Thomas hits the short jumper. 6-1 Windsor to start this one. Smith through the lane, and they're going to say it was last touch by the Titans.
That one last touch by Flenn Whitfield, and much like the game on Thursday night, it just feels like the KW Titans have come out flat out of the gate.
We saw them fall down 21 points in the first quarter against the Lightning. And they've quickly fallen behind, down 8-1 as Patillo hits the short jumper. Horton was very clutch down the stretch and that comeback effort against the Lightning on Thursday. Strings pulls up, too strong on the jumper. Titans yet to hit a shot in this one. Here's Wormley. Slows things down, tries to roll off the screen from Thomas. Dishes out to Tyrell Tate. Tate working on Justin Strings. Tough shot won't go. Whitfield able to grab the rebound, almost turned it over, but it'll stay Titans ball.
The KW Titans need something to go their way quick. Is another failed offensive opportunity here, and Cavell Johnson will need to make some changes. This starting five not getting it done in the first 3.5 minutes.
Horton misses the three. He's now 0 for 2 from beyond the arc to start the game, 0 for 3 overall. Anderson got fouled, and he'll head to the line. Jamar Sutherland called for his first.
Not the way you want to start the game if you're the KW Titans coming into this game, like you said, Ian, on a 3-game losing streak, coming off that 5-game winning streak, the franchise record 5-game winning streak, and KW just not able to keep up with Windsor so far. Their ball movement's been very good. Their communication on the floor has been much better than KW, and you notice a lot when KW gets into trouble and they start going on a cold streak during the game, it's typically because they don't work the shot clock and they try to force shots that aren't necessarily there early on in the shot clock. They need to try and take more control of this game as Jamar Sutherland will pick up his second foul on the offensive play.
Sutherland's second. He had just 5 points in the loss to London on Thursday. Played 19 minutes. Shot just 2 for 5 from the floor. Now a chance for the Express to grow this lead early on. Looking eerily similar to the Titans' poor start on Thursday. Thomas hits the turnaround, and it's a double-digit lead for Windsor.
DeAndre Thomas just dominating Flynn Whitfield in the paint so far, now up to 6 points.
Wormley the steal, and Horton, he's going to pick up the foul. That. Joel Friesen going to check into the game. He should replace Sutherland, and he does.
Joel Friesen, a guy that KW would like to get going early on here. As you and I were talking before the game, it'll be interesting to see at what point this year we'll see Joel Friesen finally get into that starting rotation. He's been one of the best players for the Titans since he's shown up, as there's an offensive foul called against the Windsor Express.
Wormley picks up his first. You're right, Jack. Of course, Friesen came over a couple games into the season, spent last year with London, spent the summer with Team Canada trying to qualify for the FIBA World Cup. Brings that international experience. Kicks out to Smith with 10 to shoot. Watched by Wormley defensively. Ashton Smith the jumper. That won't go. Loose ball. And Strings able to get to it. Anderson tried to swipe it away. And it'll stay Titans basketball.
There's just another example of KW not working the ball around enough and just taking a low percentage shot from Ashton Smith. Hand in his face and just unable to convert, much like all the shots KW's taken so far from the floor today.
Whitfield, baseline jumper, puts it in. Not exactly a high percentage look, but you figured eventually one of them was going to fall. 11-3. Whitfield gets in and tips it away. Forces the steal. Smith, Strings pulls up. Misses the jumper. Here's Wormley, burns the defense and lays it in.
Just using that speed, only a 5'7", 165-pound frame, but using his speed down at the baseline and Strings not wanting to take a foul, lets him get right to the basket.
Smith in trouble and hits the difficult shot. 13-5. Derek Hall and Ty Walker set to check in. Thomas bullying his way down low on Flynn Whitfield, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
And DeAndre Thomas continuing to dominated in the paint against Glenn Whitfield. Just the 2-inch advantage and about the 50-pound advantage down in the paint. Thomas has the ability to bully himself in the paint and score buckets like that.
He'll have a chance for a 3-point play, already a 10-point Express lead.
Chance to win a prize pack courtesy of the KW Titans, the City of Kitchener, and the City of Waterloo.
Game one of a home and home for these two sides. The Titans will travel to the WFCU Center on Tuesday. KW leading the season series 2-1 heading into tonight, but Windsor off to a fast start, trying to even that at 2 games apiece. DeAndre Thomas completes the 3-point play. With that, Ty Walker checks in. Thomas will head off.
Well, and a good start to the game for DeAndre Thomas as he gets a well-deserved break after helping his team climb up to a 16-5 lead midway through the first quarter.
Friesen drives baseline, the reverse, and lays it in. Nice play from Joel Friesen.
Beautiful finish there by the Canadian. Just to get a little bit of energy back for his team.
Patillo working on Whitfield, stands his ground, wanted a foul call. Back come the Titans with numbers offensively. Smith gonna take care of it himself, lays it in.
Great job there by KW, and we've talked about it all season, Ian. When they get into the paint and they drive to the basket, that's when they play some of their best basketball. Big steal by Ashton Smith.
Smith, the easy lay-in. And just like that, it's a 6-0 Titans run. They've cut the lead to 5. The Express, well, they turn it over the most in the league. More than 11 times per game. That time, the stop. And Smith, the ball carrier again. And an offensive foul. It's going to go on Derek Hall.
That's a good call there. Derek Hall didn't have his feet set. Reached out his leg to get the body on the Windsor defender. It's a good offensive foul call by the referee.
Damon Lynn checks into the game for Ashton Smith, who has filled in quite nicely when needed at the 1 spot for Cavell Johnson. Been playing quite well his last couple games. 11 points in the loss Thursday. Did a couple 3 balls in that one. Friesen. Oh, what a difficult shot from Friesen. Fading away. Puts it high off the glass and in. And it's a 1-score game. Anderson straightaway 3, short, but Patillo has a fresh shot clock for the Express. Chris Jones in the lane. Shot won't go. And the rebound out to Friesen. Titans can pull within 1 or tie it on this possession. Hall got tied up on the interior. The foul's going to go on Ryan Anderson. That's his first.
Great job there by Derek Hall, who felt a little bit of pressure on the arm. Then as he felt that, he went right back up towards the basket to draw that foul and send himself to the free throw line.
Whitfield heads off as Justin Strings checks back into the ball game. Strings was not in the starting five to start the year, but found his way in when Whitfield sat out with an injury and stayed in when he came back. And now it's Whitfield who's been worked back into that starting lineup as Derek Hall makes his first start on the bench. He hits both. All of a sudden a 1-point game. Titans right back in it. Anderson, they swing inside. Kick out three ball from Griffiths. Won't go. Titans on a 6-0 run. Friesen out to Horton. Step back, but misses. Anderson, the turnaround over Lynn. Won't go. The rebound all too easy for Angelo Griffiths. Lynn trying to roll off that screen from Hall. He got called for an offensive foul early. He misses that layup. Jones floating in inside. Easy lane for Walker.
Walker just slips by the defense there, and at 7 foot, easy lay-in for him. One of the few times this season we've seen a matchup against Derek Hall where the defender's just as tall as him.
Friesen had it poked away, still Titans ball. Daniel Dooley, the University of Guelph product, checks into the game as Anderson heads off. Five on the shot clock, and here's number 5, Damon Lynn. He'll head to the line.
Well, and just 7 seconds after entering the game, Daniel Dooley picks up his first foul off the bench. Like you said, a University of Guelph product, and less and less players we're seeing coming out of Canadian university schools, but a few on the roster here for the Windsor Express, and Daniel Dooley as well as Anthony Otley Jr.
A couple OUA products on the other side, of course, with Greg Morrow and Nigel Titer. Dooley averaged about 12 points per game his senior year with the Griffins. That time Lynn hits both, 20-17. Here's Jones. Tries to roll off that screen, back out to Dooley. Griffiths, the shot clock down to 5. Driving baseline, works it into the corner, and they don't get it off. Stepped out of bounds anyway, and a good defensive stand by the Titans didn't give them any open looks.
Great job there by the Titans. Force Windsor to the perimeter, but sound defense keeping their feet under them, not allowing an easy look for Windsor, and forced them to step out of bounds, but would have forced a shot clock violation as well.
The Express started the game on an 11-1 run. Now it's just a 3-point game. Strings driving, lays it in. Nice finger roll from Strings.
Beautiful finish there by Justin Strings to readjust himself midair and then be able to get that finger roll to go.
20-19. Just over a minute left in the opening quarter. Griffiths for 3, puts it in.
Tough look there for Griffiths from 3. It's Joel Friesen's hand right in his face, but able to convert.
Hall trying to go reverse, but the block by Ty Walker. Head to Patillo against Strings, puts it in. Using defense to create offense.
Well, a big block down at the defensive end by Ty Walker, and then Juan Patillo able to finish with the offensive board. Windsor playing a really good transition game tonight.
Friesen for 3, puts it in. Joel Friesen from downtown. He's the top 3-point shooter on this squad, and Cuts it to a one-possession game again. I'll get the roll. Chris Jones back to a 5-point game. 4-second difference between the two clocks, so likely the final shot of the first quarter for Kitchener-Waterloo. Friesen again from downtown. Shot won't go. Hall got to the long rebound, but Jones has Patillo all alone for the jam. That'll do it for quarter number one. Bit of a sour note to end things after the Titans clawed their way back. But certainly better than being down 11-1, 29-22 through 12 minutes.
The contest to be tied 0-0, so we got them to have a couple of pros here. So I've got Liam over here. Who's Liam? And Logan. Liam, you're going to shoot for Mayor Benedict down here. Logan, you're going to shoot for Mayor Jaworski down here. We're going to have 30 seconds. Make some noise for these guys, and we'll see who comes out on top here in the battle of Kitchener-Waterloo in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Liam is down at this end on behalf of Kitchener. Logan is over here on behalf of Waterloo. You guys have about 20 seconds remaining. This is too quiet. Let's make some noise for these guys out here. 15 seconds left. I think we got one down at the other end here. This form is looking good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That'll count. If it goes, that counts. How many do we have in here? 1. How many do we have in here? 2. Congratulations. You are our winner on behalf of Mayor Jaworski and the City of Waterloo. Congratulations. What do we think of this crowd here tonight, Mayor Jaworski? Wonderful night, everyone. We're celebrating the 20th birthday of Black Bear and the Titans' victory in the future. All right. It's City Night tonight here. Thanks to the City of Kitchener, the City of Waterloo for being here. Mayor Barry, what do you think? This is amazing. You know what I think? Right here. Future Titans right here. Mayor Jaworski, Mayor Benedict, we'll be back at halftime coaching a Special Olympics game that we've got here. We will make sure you stick around at halftime for that.
Back inside the Odd, where the Titans find themselves down 7 through the opening 12 minutes. Ian and Jack with you here on this snowy Saturday night. Just like last time, a rough start for the Titans, but they clawed their way back and certainly made it a more manageable deficit as Strings hits the floater to start the quarter.
Difficult finish there for Justin Strings, picking up his 4th point of the game. The first quarter didn't go exactly the way KW had drew it out in the locker room, but Justin Strings playing a fairly good first quarter for KW.
Thomas worked along the baseline, but Strings got up to deny him. It'll still be express ball with 3 to shoot.
Well, with DeAndre Thomas being the size that he is, KW can't back away from him. They need to play physical defense against him.
Jones fade away in the corner. Shot didn't hit the rim. Would have been a 24-second shot clock violation regardless. Here's Shamar Sutherland. He's back into the game after picking up 2 early fouls. Hall, an open look for 3. Rattles it in. The big 7-footer from downtown, and it's a 2-point game.
Great job there by Derek Hall. Maybe get a little bit of confidence going for the big man. Hoping to get more involved in this ball game.
Thomas working on his counterpart, draws the foul. It's going to be the second on Hall.
Derek Hall playing physical there, but just driving that shoulder a little bit too much into DeAndre Thomas, and he'll pick up his 2nd foul, like you said.
Thomas led all scorers with 9 points in that opening quarter. Griffiths right off the inbound, misses the 3. And Damon Lynn the rebound. Lynn so shifty, such a quick release. Can't give him any room. He can fire at any point. Kick out to Sutherland, almost lost it, readjusts, and Windsor ball. Wasn't really a bad pass from Lynn. Sutherland just bobbled it. And then from there, it all went downhill.
Looked like Sutherland thought Damon Lynn was going to drive to the basket, wasn't ready to accept that pass, but turnover for the Titans, not ideal.
Thomas, shot won't go. Ahead to Strings. Corrals it in the paint, and he stepped out. No, there's actually a foul going to go on Anthony Otley Jr. So the foul's on the floor. It's Otley's first, and Titans ball with 19 on the shot clock. Hall, straightaway jump shot, no good. Chris Jones, Ashton Smith on him. Jones, jumper no good, and Strings the rebound. Sutherland trying to cross up on Jones, but leaves it for Hall. Hall pivots, and he double dribbled. Tyrell Tate and Ed Horton both coming back into the game. Horton played a big role in Kitchener-Waterloo's fourth quarter comeback attempt on Thursday. A couple big three-pointers down the stretch. Here's Tate. Trying to use that screen from Thomas. He gives it right back to the big man. 5 to shoot. Thomas attacking. Shot won't go. Smith into the corner. Horton open look for three. Puts it in. Ed Horton. And the Titans have their first lead of the night.
Ed Horton's first made shot of the game, and it's a big one for KW as they now take a lead, and they're starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm.
Jones nails the jumper. Windsor back on top. So they're going to say a long two for Ed Horton. So KW still, oh no, my apologies, the two is actually for Jones. So 31-30 when it's all said and done.
Chris Jones picking up the foul for the Windsor Express, and KW will control at the baseline.
Strings, and that's a charge. Lowered his shoulder into Jones, who sold it pretty well. Justin Strings picks up his first.
Difficult call there, could have gone either way. From where we're sitting, a pretty good angle. I didn't think that Jones had his feet set yet, but referees call it otherwise.
Here's Jones, just picked up that charge. Leaves it for Tate. Shot goes right up in the air and comes back to Thomas. Thomas, and he traveled. Dragged that pivot footed as he was trying to work around Hall.
Still a little too much movement there by DeAndre Thomas, not able to find that pass that he was looking for. Tried to go up and get the physicality from Derek Hall to draw a foul, unable to do so, and it's Titans ball on the travel call.
Hall, the baseline jumper, too strong. Rebound by Chris Jones. Into the corner, Tyrell Tate for three. Off the mark. Smith gets the screen, takes the three, misses at Sutherland, swats it out to Horton. Look for Sutherland in the corner. Shot won't go. Hall again puts that one home. Third time's the charm. 32-31 Titans, and the Express call timeouts.
Derek Hall with the basket, and the Windsor Express call time out. Look, fans, I don't know about you, but Saturday night in my world, it's time to dance. Look up on the board. It's time for tonight's dance fair. Dance Pack leading us in the dance camp. They will be back in the fourth quarter. Hey, we told you you could have a chance to win $500 in the second half of today's game, and you haven't done so already. Stop by the Kitchener-East End booth in the upper concourse and fill out a ballot. You need to fill out your ballot by the end of this quarter. We will do the draw at the beginning of halftime for one lucky fan for $500 from Kitchener-East End.
Certainly a tale of two quarters so far was all Windsor the opening 12 minutes, but the Titans have come back and they lead for just the second time in this game. Nigel Titer getting his first minutes of the evening. Wormley tripped up and draws a foul.
That's going to go on Tremar Sutherland, so that'll be his third foul of the game. Like you said, tale of two quarters. Windsor really pulling away, had a double-digit lead on KW in the first quarter, and then KW has outscored them 10-2 here in this second quarter as Denzel James comes into the game for KW.
Wormley at the free throw line, hits the first. This season, just under 90% from the free throw line. But misses the second, and Strings able to get the rebound. Friesen working it down low to Strings. Turnaround, too strong. Wormley the rebound, kicks it out. Chris Jones trying to slash through traffic, but back out to Wormley. Small backcourt in the lineup right now for the Express. Jones got bumped, and he'll head to the free throw line.
Well, Jones driving to the basket, just hitting balls off of Denzel James, and will head to the free throw line. This game tied 32-32.
Titans now with just 2 fouls to give for the remainder of the first half. Jones had 26 points off the bench. And Windsor's victory over the 5 on Thursday. 8 for 19 from the field. Went a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. That time, his second free throw gives them a 1-point lead. Horton, shot won't go. Tighter there on the rebound. And KW looking good on the offensive glass here in the second.
Good offensive board there by Nigel Titer, and then the straightaway putback.
Wormley, tough pass to find Thomas, and an offensive foul. DeAndre Thomas. The calls don't come much easier than that for the official. Ran over his man who had his feet planted. That's his second.
Great job by Nigel Titer at both ends of the court, and that last sequence being able to finish on the glass on the offensive board, and then getting the charge call against DeAndre Thomas at the other end.
Friesen draws the foul. Ryan Anderson going to get called for his second.
Anderson arguing that he got the ball and Friesen sold that one.
So Thomas and Anderson both with fouls, a pair of fouls. They're on the court with Tate, Patillo, and Wormley for Windsor. A foul called before the inbound. It's going to go on Thomas. He's got 3. And that forces Ty Walker to check back into the game.
You can tell Coach Bill Jones isn't happy, and whether that's the foul trouble that DeAndre Thomas has got himself into, or whether that's the call on the floor,
14 on the shot clock. Titans now inbounding on the baseline. Friesen. Slashing, kick out to Horton was too high, but able to keep it in. Athletic play from Horton. 5 to shoot. Whitfield, contested shot. Might have been tipped. Didn't even get to the bucket. Tate, corner 3, splash. Tyrell Tate, and it's a 2-point Express lead.
Tyrell Tate taking advantage of the rotation defense, not getting out there quick enough, hitting that 3.
Titer tried to feed that one down low for Whitfield, but led him too much. And with that, Titer checks out. Derek Hall back into the game.
Yeah, Titer just tried to feed that down low to Flynn Whitfield, but caught up in the arms of Juan Patillo and unable to break away from Patillo to grab that ball. Turnover for the Titans. Windsor drives down the court.
Wormley lobbed that one for Patillo, and Whitfield holding his left hand in some pain.
Whitfield called for the foul. That is his second, team's 5th. Juan Patillo.
Patillo's going to head to the free throw line. To say was not in the act of shooting. Foul on the floor. So 14 to shoot. Anderson, jumper right off the inbound, hits it as he goes crashing to the floor. Whitfield over to James. Friesen, pass was tipped, still Titans ball.
14 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Whitfield working on Patillo. Shot won't go. Horton catch and shoot rebound. That drops. 38-36 Windsor.
Great awareness there by Horton instead of bringing that down, restarting the possession, seeing that he's close enough to the basket where it's a high percentage look just to put it right back up right away.
Anderson, shot from 3 won't go when Horton up for the rebound. Offensive foul, gonna go on Flynn Whitfield. That'll be his 3rd. Whitfield's gonna stay on though. Ashton Smith comes in, Denzel James heads off. And foul trouble again at the 4-5 spot for Cavell Johnson. Whitfield in foul trouble. He's got both him and Derek Hall on the floor right now. Only a matter of time before we see Justin Strings check back in. Anderson 3, too strong with the offensive rebound to Tate. Patillo, baseline jumper, puts it in. Juan Patillo. And Windsor up 40-36.
That was great ball movement on the offensive end by the Windsor Express to be able to find Patillo and get somewhat of an open look. Hit that basket to give Windsor a 2-possession lead.
Shot clock down to 5. Horton from way downtown won't go. Three and a half to play in the first half. An extremely slow start for KW, but fortunate to find themselves down just 4. Wormley over Friesen, off the mark. Hall the rebound, and the outlet pass to Ed Horton. Friesen in the corner, shot won't go. Whitfield was able to tip it, but Windsor gets it back. Wormley. Shot transition won't go from Tate, but Wormley, all 5'9" of them, grabs the offensive rebound. And it's a 6-point Express lead.
Well, on that sequence there, Windsor comes down the court, a 3-on-3. 2 Titans converge on the original shooter. A kick-out pass that KW goes down on, and then just Patillo wide open down below the basket working against Ashton Smith. Just poor awareness there defensively by the Titans before they're able to finish on the offensive end.
Wormley lobs it up to Patillo. Oh my, what a play.
Windsor's been waiting for that one for a while. You can tell Juan Patillo's been wanting that lob and jam for the past few minutes in this game, but finally able to convert and just slams it down the throat of the Titans defense.
Whitfield working on Anderson, has it stolen away cleanly. Derek Hall able to bat it out. Smith has to get the shot off. Won't go, it hit the rim, so shot clock resets, but it'll be Windsor ball. Sloppy possession there from the Titans. Greg Morrow is going to come in. So is Strings, as Whitfield and Friesen both head off.
There's a great individual effort by Ed Horton to keep that ball in play between the legs.
Technical foul issue to Cavell Johnson. He wasn't happy with the call. He wanted a whistle during that sequence. Didn't get it. And now the Express will head to the free throw line.
Ryan Anderson will shoot free throw.
Anderson, one of the top shooters in the league every year, but he's having a down year by his standards. Anderson, the 2017 NBL Canada Finals MVP. His 6th season in the league. Misses that one, but still Express ball, 44-38. Anderson sidesteps around Strings into the corner. Tate the pump fake. Back to Anderson in the corner. Tough shot for three, won't go. Hall was the last one to touch it, and the Express get a fresh 24.
Tough sequence for the Titans defenses. They do well enough to force a low percentage shot, and then Derek Hall just bats that rebound out of bounds, and it remains Windsor ball.
And the offensive foul. It's going to go on Tyrell Tate. Number 1 on him. Griffiths back in. Minute 29 to play in the first half. Neither side has really seemed to find their traction aside from Windsor in that first quarter. They started the game on an 11-1 run. Nice play. Credit Ashton Smith with the dime, Derek Hall the bucket, and a 4-point game.
Great feed and great finish at the glass. High off the window for Derek Hall. KW just fighting to keep pace right now with Windsor.
The rotation to Patillo, jump shot too strong, and the rebound by Hall. Hall the one across the timeline. Almost lost it. He does, but gets it back. Inside, and an easy lay-in for Greg Morrow.
Great job there by Derek Hall. Just brings the ball up the court himself, waits, holds on to it, loses possession, and then doesn't try and force a low percentage pass, and then finds Greg Morrow all alone below the basket.
Pass intended for Patillo, but Wormley turned it over. Horton to Strings. Tie game.
And that starts with a great play on defense by Derek Hall, playing very well in the final 3 minutes of this second quarter. Goes down the other way, and then great awareness by Ed Horton to give it down to Justin Strings as he had the defender converging in on him. Strings lays it off the glass, ties the game.
How about another one? Wormley to Patillo, their second connection of the game, and the Express head to the locker room with a 2-point lead.
46, KW Titans 44 high scores in that first half for the Express. Juan Patillo has 14 points for the Titans. Derek Hall and Ashton Smith each have 9. Just a reminder, you can swing by the KW Titans merchandise booth up in the concourse, and the Kitchener Sports Association is selling 50-50 tickets. Make sure you pick up your tickets. They are available all season long. We will do the draw in the third quarter. Just a reminder, the Titans are back home this Thursday, January the 24th. It's a 7 p.m. tip-off against the PEI Island Storm. You can get your tickets at KWTitans.com. All right, Titans fans, please join me in welcoming some special athletes onto the floor. This is KW Special Olympics basketball. They are going to have a halftime game with their special coaches, Barry Verbanovic and Dave Jaworski. We have got Team Green representing the City of Kitchener, Team Yellow representing activities copies can also be found at City of Kitchener recreation facilities through local community service groups, doctors' offices, churches, and libraries. Let's have another big round of applause for these athletes putting on that halftime game for us today.
24 minutes in the books here at the Odd. Welcome back. Ian and Jack with you here on this Saturday night. The Express, they finish off the first half with an exclamation point. Horace Wormley, the lob to Juan Patillo for the second time in the ball game. And before we can get back underway, I want to make sure the clock is running. About 10 seconds should have ran off, and they'll adjust.
Well, the first half that started out really well for Windsor, and then KW came back and they made things close, and then a back and forth game. It hasn't been great basketball to this point, but both teams just trying to grind this one out. It might not be the prettiest win of the season for one of these teams, but it will be a win no matter what. And all important when these two teams are battling it out in the standings.
Patillo misses the jumper. He was the leader at the half. 14 points for him, 70% shooting. Here's Ed Horton trying to work on Patillo. There a call on the floor to start the second half. Sutherland, 3 for the lead, won't go. And the rebound by Patillo. Here's Horace Wormley. Thomas ran into some foul trouble in that first half, had 3 personals. That time, almost lost it. Will stay Express ball with 7 on the shot clock.
Thomas and Flynn Whitfield both playing with a little bit of foul trouble, and something that's been a part of Flynn Whitfield's game this season is just plays well but gets into foul trouble that forces him to go on the bench.
Whitfield, nice assist as Tremar Sutherland lays it in. Ties this one at 46.
Great finish by Tremar Sutherland and great awareness by Flynn Whitfield to not try and go up against pressure. Just give it off to Tremar Sutherland. Let him finish at the rim.
Here's Wormley. Ashton Smith on him defensively. Shot clock down to 7. Wormley for 3. Splash! Wormley his first 3 of the game. Wormley his 3rd season in the league, spent the last 2 with the Riptide. Whitfield, jumper too strong. Smith trying to chase down the rebound, but Tyrell Tate gets there first. Wormley drives baseline, leaves it for Patillo, but a strong defensive stand there by Whitfield.
It's too strong on that shot attempt by Patillo.
Don't count the shot. Horton drew the foul. Tate picks up his second foul. Thomas really the only one in foul trouble for the Express. Anderson and Tate the only other 2 that have a pair. 49-46. Here's Ashton Smith. Works it down low. Whitfield against Patillo. Driving, but misses on the baseline drive. Offensive foul that time is going to go on Derek Hall. He picks up his 3rd. So now Hall and Whitfield both playing with 3. And again, trouble at that 4-5 spot.
And it just seems over this 3-game losing skid for the KW Titans, that's been the story, is their forwards just can't get out of foul trouble, and they can't play relatively disciplined basketball.
Horton picks up his 2nd. Tate, and there Whitfield picks up his 4th. Had to come in as the help defender off the switch. And now some big-time trouble for Cavell Johnson at the power forward position. Should only be a matter of time before Strings checks back into the ball game. He took over the starting 4 spot when Whitfield went out with injury and has maintained it even when he's returned. Tate knocks down the first. This season, about an 84% free throw shooter. One of several Windsor players averaging double figures, puts in both. Hall finds himself open for the jumper, knocks it down for three.
We saw that a little bit in that second quarter. Derek Hall gets a little bit of space from DeAndre Thomas and then puts up a three-point attempt. We know he can hit it. He's proven it in the past. He shoots pretty good from beyond the arc for a 7-footer. Takes advantage of it that time. Hits the three-pointer.
Tate in the corner. Tries to slash through the defense. Shot won't go. And the rebound for Ed Horton. Into the corner. Sutherland, open three. Puts it in. Tramar Sutherland, the go-ahead three. KW back on top.
Big back-to-back threes from KW coming from Derek Hall and Tramar Sutherland. Two guys they really need to get hot to end this losing streak.
52-51. Wormley over to Thomas, trying to push Derek Hall down low. Patillo, the drive, lost it as the shot clock expired, had to get it off. It's a turnover. Sutherland tried to kick out for Horton, but drew the foul.
Looked like Sutherland wanted to drive, get the defense to play down on him, and then kick it out to Ed Horton, who was out open on the wing. Gets fouled first, so KW will inbound from the side, and it looked like on that Patillo attempt, Flem Whitfield actually got a hand on it for a block.
Off the turnover, Whitfield got back for the rejection. Big block by Flem Whitfield. Horton leaves it for him and lays it in. Using that defense to create offense. The Titans have done it a few times, but Patillo makes him pay on the other end. 54-53.
Windsor playing well in the fast break game in that first quarter, or that first half, as Patillo picks up a foul, and we'll see Justin Strings come into the game for Flem Whitfield. Juan Patillo took advantage there on the bucket for the Windsor Express, but Flem Whitfield back-to-back blocks on the defensive end and then finishes on the glass. He'll take a breather.
Seems like that's what happens every time with Whitfield when he gets in that foul trouble. Of course, they have to wait for the next dead ball to bring in Strings, and Whitfield seems to play exceptional in those couple minutes. But Strings filling in just fine, hits the floater, 56-53. Anderson, nice adjustment in midair, lays it in. That's two straight possessions that Windsor has gotten an easy bucket on the other end. Titans have got to get back transition-wise. Hall for three, way off.
Seems like Derek Hall's getting pretty comfortable from the perimeter, but plays his best game in the paint, as most 7-footers do in basketball. Just needs to find that rhythm down low and not rely so much on outside long twos and three-point attempts.
Ty Walker has come back into the game for Ryan Anderson. Horton the steal. Sutherland was in all alone, but the lead pass was a bit too far. Smith for three. Off the mark. And the rebound by Jones. Here's Wormley. Gets a running start at Strings. Tries to feed it for Walker, but misses the layup. It'll stay Express ball.
Justin Strings just yelling down the court, we need help on the defensive end. You saw Tramar Sutherland and Ed Horton still on the Windsor side of half, even though there were a few attempts by the Express, all five of their players inside the three-point line. Justin Strings calling for more defense from his teammates.
Friesen and Damon Lynn are into the game for Kitchener-Waterloo. Tate, shot misses. Lynn, open look for three. Way off the mark. And the rebound by Patillo.
Those are the open looks KW can't afford to miss. It's been the difference in two losses in this three-game losing streak.
Lynn flips it up. Don't count the shot. Foul is going to go on the floor.
Foul on the floor for 22.
Wormley picks up his second, and the fourth team foul for Windsor. It's just 2 more to give over the final 6:13 of the third. And another foul. Tyrell Tate picks up his third before the inbounds pass. It's the second time an Express player has done that in the ball game. Hall working on Walker, draws a foul. Late whistle as Ty Walker picks up his first, and Derek Hall heads to the stripe.
Well, that's a good foul call by the officials. I was wondering when that whistle was going to come. It looked like there was too much contact on that attempt by Derek Hall trying to get to the basket as Ty Walker picks up the foul, and Otley Jr. will come into the game as Tyrell Tate heads to the bench. Derek Hall good on that first free throw, but again, it's important for KW to get Derek Hall back into a groove. He's just seemed off the last couple of games.
He's got 14 points now. We mentioned over the last 2 games, that's kind of been his slump. Just 8.5 points per game in that 2-game span. Prior to that, he was averaging 15 per game. Jones lost it. It'll stay Windsor ball. There'll be 6 seconds on the shot clock. Express ball when we come back. Titans up 3.
Two-step jump shot. If you take more than 2 steps, we'll still give you the money if you make it. Here's the deal. Make sure you can see this line. It's not painted blue in the middle. Just make sure your toe does not touch the line, okay? You get that in. $500 from Kitchener-Neeson. Let's have a round of applause for Jeff here. 1 shot. We want to see it happen. It's all you, Jeff. Hands up. It is unfortunately not good, Jeff. Thanks for participating. Great job, good effort. Remember, we do this at every single home game. Get your ballot when you get here. We draw it just at the beginning of halftime. Kids, if you want to come down for the YMCA, now is the time. Make your way down behind each basket. Meet up with members of our dance pack. We will have the YMCA on the court at the end of the third quarter. Okay, pull out your 50-50 tickets. If you got this ticket, you've won $1,037, our biggest pot of the year. Ticket number 271332. It's up on the board. 271332. You can claim that at Boston Pizza Fan Service in 89 seconds 3.
Just 3 to shoot. Wormley got to get it off. He does, but misses. And Walker couldn't get to the offensive rebound either. Foul on the floor, and it's going to go on Justin Strings. It's his second.
Great job there by the 5'7" Wormley, battling hard down low. Forces Justin Strings to take a foul. Lots of physicality from the small guard.
Greg Morrow and Ed Horton are back in for Kitchener-Waterloo. Patillo over Strings, short with a long rebound right back to Patillo. Wormley over Friesen, also short, but Walker gets it, and another new shot clock for the Express. Patillo out to Wormley. Chris Jones thought about it. Tries to cross up on Ed Horton, gets tied up, and Horton is going to get called for his third. And a technical foul going to be called on Chris Jones. That's actually going to go on Ed Horton. So Horton picked up the foul and in frustration picks up the technical.
Smacks that ball away after getting called from the foul. I thought he had pretty good footwork defensively, but just a little too much physical contact there as he's going to get subbed off.
So Wormley, this one for the technical, puts it in. And now he'll get 2 more. It'll be Chris Jones who drew the foul from Horton. So Horton's playing with 3 fouls, and then the combination of Hall, Whitfield, and Strings have 9. Those are your 3 top 4-5 guys who can play power forward center, and they're in some trouble. Strings and Hall trying to carry the burden right now for KW, and a foul off the inbounds. And now even more trouble as Justin Strings picks up his 3rd. And that puts KW in the penalty, so more free throws for the Express. Things starting to unravel out of this timeout.
KW gets frustrated. Things just seem to get worse for them, and Justin Strings, still a young player out of Sacramento State, still trying to get adjusted to the pro game, and you can sense the frustration boiling over in his game when things start to go wrong for the Titans.
Smith going coast to coast, lays it in. Both teams exchanging leads, 60-59 Titans. Jones, shot won't go, and the rebound by Friesen. Here's Smith, working inside the Hall, takes the baseline jumper, won't go. And Wormley able to get there for the board.
Well, Derek Hall continuing to shoot from the perimeter. He had room to dribble and drive to the basket, whether he could pick up a foul or dish it off to somebody else. He's got to get that interior game going.
Jones, nice Euro step, lays it in. Anthony Otley Jr. and Derek Hall got tied up off the inbounds. Farnood Kazmazadi, the crew chief, speaking with both of them as the clock stops with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Express just regained the lead. They're up 1. Here's Hall. Backing in on Walker. Misses that one. Jones gets ahead of steam. Misses the layup. Hall chases down the rebound. And now the Titans have numbers the other way. Justin Strings goes right at his defender, Ty Walker. Titans back on top, 62-61.
Strings got physical there, driving to the basket. Plays his best when he's physical.
Wormley tried to kick into the corner for Jones, but turned it over. A steal, and then a foul on Chris Jones behind the play. The Express were already in the penalty, so that will mean free throws for Joel Friesen. With that, DeAndre Thomas checks back in. He's playing with 3 fouls.
Just a foul-heavy 3rd quarter here at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, and Ashton Smith will take the free throws for the Titans. Neither team with a foul to give for the last 3:28.
Smith rattles in the first. No good on the second. Last season, the Titans went 1-6 against the Express. Certainly a much better start to this year. Jones driving, draws a foul. Of course, the Titans in the penalty, so Chris Jones will head to the free throw line. Flynn Whitfield, he's in a lot of trouble. He's got 5 fouls. Jones, an 89% free throw shooter. Through his 8 games played with the Express, puts in the first. Mentioned he's coming off a 26-point outing in Sudbury on Thursday. That was coming off the bench as well. Jones sinks both and ties this one at 63. Smith out to Strings. Jumper over Patillo, off the mark. And Jones the rebound. Jones watched by Morrow, tries to slip around the defender. Thomas the jumper, shot won't go. Friesen had that one poked away, but last touch by Chris Jones, so the Express get it back. Excuse me, it'll actually be Titans ball.
Didn't seem like either team was a fan of that call, but KW retains possession, and they're lucky there that Chris Jones stepped out of bounds because it would have been an easy 2 the other way.
Friesen, 3 ball won't go. And Griffiths there for the board. He's getting his first minutes of the second half. Express looking to take the lead on this possession. Here's DeAndre Thomas. Works it down low to Patillo. Patillo draws the double team, leaves Wormley open. Wormley drives, tries to float it up for Patillo. He'll get the roll, but they say the shot did not get off in time. Wormley got the lob off in time, but the problem was Patillo had to tip it in after the 24 had expired. 63 aside. Just over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Express, well, they led by as many as 11 early in the first. Titans have come right back, though. Whitfield, down low to Morrow. Throws the body around, has to pass out of the shot, finds Strings, nails the jumper.
Great finish there by Justin Strings, and great awareness by Morrow to get it out to him, and Strings take the jump shot, get it to fall.
And there it is, a turnover. Chris Jones can't believe it. He gets called for the foul. That's the third on Jones. Friesen, though, still upset with the call. He's talking to the official. So is Cavell Johnson.
Well, it looked like Jones took a swing below the belt at Joel Friesen after that call subtly, and Cavell Johnson saying to the far side official, I know you saw that. Greg Morrow heads to the free throw line for the Titans. But you can tell that frustration's starting to boil over for both sides, and Cavell Johnson has to be careful because he already has one technical foul. He doesn't want to leave his head coaching spot in that game management spot in a tight game that's easily winnable for the KW Titans at this point if you can manage the game properly. Cavell Johnson still plays with that fire that he had when he was a player.
Just last season, Johnson was in a Titans uniform playing for this team. Morrow hits 1 of 2. The Titans have a 3-point lead. Wormley, nice feed to Patillo. Gets it to drop. Lots of contact. And that cuts the lead to 1. Warning for a delay of game called on the Express as they grabbed the ball after the shot was made.
Well, and Windsor's bench not happy that there was no foul call there. Like you said, lots of contact on Juan Patillo. Still able to finish with all that contact, but I was surprised there was no foul call there.
Final minute, quarter number 3. Smith draws a double team. He's in trouble, slips away, gets the strings. Morrow driving baseline, and DeAndre Thomas called for the foul. And a technical foul then issued to Thomas. Ran down the floor the other way. So Thomas picks up his 4th foul and a technical.
Well, and both fouls well deserved. First foul was a foul. Greg Morrow going hard to the basket. Thomas jumps up and hits him, still moving forward, and then picks up the technical foul because he's upset with the call running down the court. You can't do that either way, whether it was the play at the basket or running around after the play. He's been jawing at the officials all night, not happy with any of the calls. The frustration from the officials starting to boil over, gets called on the technical foul. No surprise there. DeAndre Thomas, very good player for the Windsor Express, but some attitude issues are causing him problems here tonight.
Certainly an animated player who brings a lot of talents to the floor, but that one was not even close. I don't know how Thomas could even think to argue that one. Chris Jones and Juan Patillo still having words with the official. Friesen has made the free throw for the technical. And before they take the free throws for the initial foul called on Thomas, the assistant coach, who's in place for Bill Jones, who did not make the trip, Aaron McDonald, rounding up his troops by the Windsor bench as the officials are talking things over. 52 seconds to play in the third. Certainly a lot going on in that last sequence. DeAndre Thomas called for the blocking foul on Greg Morrow's drive to the basket, also picked up a technical.
Greg Morrow, 2 shots.
Now, Greg Morrow at the line shooting 2 shots on the original foul against Thomas.
Morrow only about a 53% free throw shooter. He's already missed one tonight. Haven't seen a whole lot of minutes from him during this losing streak. Seeing a bit more action from him tonight, and he's made the most of it. Now 3 for 4 at the line tonight, and a 4-point Kitchener-Waterloo lead.
Well, in a 3-game losing streak for KW, a guy like Greg Morrow got seen limited minutes, just trying to take advantage of the opportunity to play as there's a turnover by the Express, given right back by Joel Friesen.
Patillo, the short jumper, and that's going to be basket interference. Joel Friesen got up there and touched the rim while it was in the cylinder. 69-67, credit Patillo for the 2 points.
Right there, Joel Friesen took that ball away, but as he went to go step down, just lost his footing. Gave the ball right back to Windsor, and then the Express able to finish at the rim.
11 seconds the difference between the 2 clocks. Friesen took it right to the rim but missed. Windsor can hold for the last shot of the half, but instead Chris Jones draws the foul. Ashton Smith gonna pick up his first. Both sides have been in the penalty for quite a while, so Jones will head to the free throw line with 16.9 seconds left in the third. Certainly not your conventional basketball game tonight. Jones hits both, ties this one up, 69 apiece. And then the pass goes right to him. Strings gave it right to Chris Jones. So the shot clock off. Windsor looking to take the lead on the final possession of the third quarter. Jones trying to cross up Whitfield. Inside, but the miss from Ty Walker. The Titans fortunate enough to escape without giving up a bucket in the final possession. We're all tied, 69 apiece, just 12 minutes to play at the odd.
All right, concourse.
A big night for Juan Patillo, 22 points and 9 rebounds so far in this one. He shot 10 for 17 from the field, but will it be enough? The Express and the Titans tied at 69 as we head to the final quarter in this one. We've seen some fireworks on both sides, and it'll all be decided in the fourth. Express started the game on an 11-1 run. Friesen, that's a three. Shot won't go. Long rebound, and that'll go back to Windsor.
Good ball movement there by the Titans. Friesen just decided to dribble and set up better for that three-point attempt. But getting a screen from Derek Hall, if he just goes up with that shot right away, he doesn't have that 7-foot hand of Ty Walker in his face.
Wormley up to Patillo for the third time today. Another big connection, and that one puts Windsor in front.
KW's defensive rotation just making it too easy for Windsor to get those finishes.
Smith, that one found strings into the corner. Friesen back to Smith. Open three, rattles it in. Ashton Smith from downtown, and the Titans are back in front.
Great job and very unselfish play by Joel Friesen not to take that three attempt, pass it back to Ashton Smith. Gets it to fall. KW regains a 1-point lead.
Runner good from Chris Jones. Play was whistled down. Looks like the ball just got away from the official before he could give it to Justin Strings for the inbound. Express up 73-72. Chris Jones up to 14 points. Off the bench, the leader for the Express. Sutherland, three is good. Back-to-back triples from Ashton Smith and Tramar Sutherland. Titans up 75-73.
Sutherland, who hasn't seen a whole lot of action in this game, gets into it in the fourth quarter with a three-pointer for the KW Titans.
Jones, the step back. Shot won't go. And Sutherland there for the rebound. Smith drives baseline and he stepped out. Windsor ball. Tyrell Tate and Ryan Anderson both coming back into the game. Anderson limited production in his 24 minutes on the floor, just 5 points, and has gone 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. Very uncharacteristic of the man who won the last NBL Canada three-point shootout in 2014. One of the best shots in the league has been held off tonight. The Titans got to keep tabs on him. He can go off at any given moment. Wormley off the screen and an offensive foul. Going to go on Ty Walker. It's his second.
Ty Walker, that is his second, team's first.
39 combined fouls between the two sides tonight. That's the first of the fourth. Smith across the timeline, watched closely by Horace Wormley. Strings. And a foul on the floor. And it's going to go on Walker again. He picks up his second in under 20 seconds.
And Derek Hall's going to pick up a foul there as well. They're going to be fouls to both teams, but Derek Hall not happy with the call. He was playing down low in the paint. Walker gave him a little bit of a push. He was looking for the foul, didn't get anything. Hall got a little bit more physical, got pushed again by Walker. And then when Derek Hall got physical one more time, that's when the fouls were called. And now there is jawing between the Titans bench and the crew chief here tonight is Cavell Johnson, and our crew chief referee having a very close interaction at the KW Titans bench as play resumes. 10 seconds for KW on the shot clock.
You said it, the Titans bench can certainly not afford another technical. And now another foul, that one before the inbounds. It's the third time the Express have done that tonight. This one's going to go on Tyrell Tate. He's got 4. Titans will now inbound from the baseline. Smith gets it in the hall. Shot clock to 12 and lost it cleanly. Express basketball. 75-73, Windsor looking to tie or take the lead on this possession. Wormley shouts out a play, drives, flips it up, scores, and ties the game.
Too easy for Wormley there. KW not wanting to get into any more foul trouble as the bulk of the fouls coming from the forwards.
Smith, the straightaway jumper. Good night for Ashton Smith. He's into double figures. Patillo off the ball screen, gets the roll. Nice finish from Juan Patillo, 24 points for the big man.
It's been one of those nights for Juan Patillo, who's just feeling it at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, really carrying the load for his Windsor Express team.
Smith, jump shot, misses. Patillo, the fake, and inside, two-hand jam from Ty Walker. Express back out in front. A play whistle down the other way.
Never mind, change my mind.
The officials originally thought a timeout was called by the Titans, but they're going to say no such timeout was charged, so they'll do it all over.
More confusion between the scorers table and the officials.
Another whistle, this one blown by the crew chief.
Come on, refs. You guys want some help?
Hopefully this time it'll count, Ian.
All settled. I believe one of the officials thought the scorers table was calling for either a substitution or immediate timeout, but not quite at that point of the fourth quarter yet. Still 8.5 to play. Windsor up 2. Sutherland off the screen from Strings. Jump shot ties the game.
Great job by Tremar Sutherland, now up to 10 points, had 5 points in the first 3 quarters, 5 points here in the fourth.
Patillo, massive night for him, looking to keep it going. Anderson along 2, shot won't go. And Anderson struggles from the field continue, now 2 for 9. Smith drives baseline, kick out to Friesen. Sutherland for 3. Won't go.
You can feel the air sucked out of the odd for a second as everyone thought that Tremar Sutherland was going to hit that 3.
Tate, nice Euro step, but misses the floater. Rebound by Joel Friesen. Friesen, who's been fairly quiet today, down low. Hall blocked by Ty Walker. And the other way, Friesen, frustrated, picks up the foul, and he'll head to the bench. Talk about how strong Friesen has been during this losing streak for the Titans. Tonight has been quite the opposite. He heads off the floor, so does Ashton Smith, as Lynn and Horton are both back in for Kitchener-Waterloo. Wormley for 3. That's good. Morris Wormley from downtown. The Express up 3. Lynn, he's got that quick release out to Sutherland. Sutherland got tied up. Stolen away by Juan Patillo. He's got Wormley with him, and Patillo lays it up and in. A 5-point Windsor lead.
Juan Patillo, the first car on this Windsor train, telling everybody to hop on board. Now up to 28 points on the game.
Strings straightaway three. Shot won't go. And Anderson up for the rebound. It's a 7-0 express run. Jones feeds to Anderson. His pass right into the hands of Damon Lynn was about to be a turnover, but still Windsor ball with 6 to shoot.
Lynn just couldn't corral that easy turnover in his lap. Goes out of bounds, remains Windsor ball.
Off the inbound, Wormley was looking for Patillo again. Missed that one. Strings in transition. He draws a foul.
Great job there by Justin Strings to put it up, but it would have been the 4th time tonight we would have seen that alley-oop from Wormley to Patillo. As we see DeAndre Thomas come back into the game for Ty Walker.
Wormley and Patillo both spent last season in New Brunswick, but with different teams, and it seems just a few months into the season, they've developed that chemistry awfully quick. Like you said, that would have been their 4th alley-oop between the two. Strings, good on the first. Glenn Whitfield has 4 fouls. He's going to come back into the game. Dead quiet as Strings hits the second. 84-81. He'll head off, and they'll go with the bigger lineup of Hall and Glenn Whitfield.
KW just trying to counteract DeAndre Thomas and Juan Patillo, and hopefully KW hoping Whitfield could slow down Patillo and or Thomas down low. Patillo finishes on the glass.
Up to 26 points now for Juan Patillo. Lynn cutting through the lane. Patillo called for the foul. It's his second. Already 5 team fouls for Windsor. They're up 5 in the 4th quarter.
All right, fans, welcome into the court one more time. They're brought to you all season long by Control Hair. It's your KW Titans Dance Pack.
.30 points, 11 rebounds for Juan Patillo. Another monster night for him. And his Express are up 5 with 5:39 to play. Lynn hits the first. And Cavell Johnson going with that bigger lineup of Whitfield and Hall, trying to counteract the big 2 for Windsor and Patillo and DeAndre Thomas. Just a 1-possession game. It's been tight for most of this one. Here's Chris Jones. Ed Horton on him defensively. Jones off the switch, now watched by Hall. Jones on the interior, gets the bucket. Tough shot from Chris Jones, who is facing a large size mismatch.
Great finish there by Jones, who now has 16 points on the game off the bench.
Lynn no good on the floater. Jones ahead to Patillo. Able to crowd along the baseline out to Wormley. Pump fake, drives, and a late foul call as Flynn Whitfield is going to pick up his 5th.
Wormley just driving hard to the basket. Flynn Whitfield hits him hard. Wormley hits the court hard and then drops to the court. Looking to give Windsor as much as a 7-point advantage.
Wormley heads to the line. He's been excellent tonight. 14 points, 11 assists. On the season, an excellent free throw shooter, about 90%. Hits both. It's Windsor's biggest lead of the second half. 90-83, under 5 to play. Pass tipped. Wormley tried to keep it in along the baseline, but it'll be Titans ball with 15 to shoot. Fortunate they didn't turn it over there.
Well, and Wormley battling hard down low defensively for Windsor. Knocking that pass away from the 7-footer Derek Hall, who had had an easy lay-in had he caught that pass.
Sutherland for 3. No good. And Patillo keeps on adding. That's his 12th rebound. Jones tries to spin off Ed Horton. Back up top to Wormley as the offense resets. No need to rush. Shot clock down to 5. Wormley to Patillo. Jump shot. Won't go. And Hall pushes off Thomas for the rebound. Here's Hall across the timeline. Derek Hall working on Anderson. Horton for 3. It's good. Ed Horton, big time 3. He had a couple of them Thursday. This one cuts it to 4.
A much-needed three-pointer there by Ed Horton. KW needs a big defensive stop here.
Horton up to 8 points tonight. Patillo was Thomas backing in, and Hall is going to get called for the foul. And that's actually on Flynn Whitfield. His night is done. He fouls out as Justin Strings is forced to check in for the final 3:35 of the game. As now DeAndre Thomas heads to the free throw line for the second time tonight.
Flynn Whitfield leaves this game not having as good of a contest as he would have hoped. Just 4 points on the game. Difficult outing for him.
Thomas, a veteran in this league, it's his 7th season. He's on pace for his best career year, entering tonight with just under 13 points per game. Hits both. Still just a 2-possession game, 92-86, but 3:30 to play. Here's Damon Lynn, over to Horton. Horton swings it over to Strings. Hall open for the jumper, misses, long rebound. Lynn gets to it, and a fresh 24 for KW. Strings slashing, that won't go either. 2 great chances for the Titans to cut into the lead, but can't hit either one.
And Ed Horton was screaming on the wing, calling for the ball. He was wide open. Nobody acknowledged him.
Anderson catch and shoot 3, won't go. Jones tips it out to Wormley. Patillo, open jumper. That's too strong. Strings can get to that one. 2 missed shots from the Express. Horton thought about it, steps back for a 3. Won't go. Hall got to it, but then Wormley pokes it ahead. 2-on-1, transition 3. Horace Wormley won't go. Patillo draws a foul.
Just sloppy ball control by both teams, not able to convert on shots at either end of the court.
And Ed Horton, he fouls out, the second Titan to do so. Sutherland is also going to come out as Smith comes in, so does Joel Friesen. That bench getting shorter and shorter for Cavell Johnson. Both teams have just a foul to give. Anderson lays it in off the inbounds.
Well, Windsor just seems to be pulling away late in this fourth quarter. KW needs something to stop the bleeding and then a big defensive stand.
Lynn, and there's a technical. Chris Jones was called for the initial foul. And then it's Thomas who actually picked up the technical. No, they're actually both going to go on Jones. There was some confusion. So Jones picks up the foul, and it was in the act of shooting. They had a foul to give. Jones now has a technical as he heads off. 94-86. Lynn will head to the line to shoot the one. Misses that one.
Replay. Do it again.
Lynn hits that one. Cuts the lead to 7. Goes 2 for 3 and makes it a 2-score game, 94-88. Here's Horace Wormley. Him and Patillo both having monster nights. Tries to lob it in for his counterpart, but stolen away by Ashton Smith. Friesen for 3. It's short, and the rebound by Jones. And then called for the foul. It's a bad night all around for Joel Friesen.
Seemed like he was going to be the guy, or he was the guy that got KW back on the right track after being down by double digits in that first quarter, but since then, relatively quiet game for Joel Friesen. And just 3 of 8 shooting, including 1 for 5 from beyond the arc. Couple fouls for him as well, just himself, Glenn Whitfield, Ed Horton not having their best games. But KW still alive in this one. They just got to keep grinding away at it.
The Express seem to keep giving them the ball back, but can't capitalize on the other end. Patillo jumper won't go. Right to Thomas. Count it, and the foul. And DeAndre Thomas, a chance for a 3-point play.
Joel Friesen called for the technical foul after the play.
Charge the foul to the Titans, number 4, Justin Street, 14-7. Technical foul assessed to Joel Friesen, his 3rd.
Technical fouls all around tonight. DeAndre Thomas got one. Chris Jones got one. Now Joel Friesen gets teed up.
Cavell Johnson has one. They're giving them out. It's like Oprah, Ian.
Anderson hits the free throw for the technical. Both teams in the penalty for the remaining 133. The Express have not held a double-digit lead since the midway stage of the first quarter. Thomas can reestablish that here. 98-88, a big hole for the Titans in the final 93 seconds.
All right, fans, it's cold outside, it's snowy, it's a bad winter day. You know how to warm up? Why don't you flex for us on our Flex Cab?
Long way to go for the Titans in the final minute 33 of this one. Have to play with a sense of urgency. Ashton Smith calls out a play. Damon Lynn catch and shoot three. It's short. Rebound though to Strings and gets that one a drop. Cuts the lead to 8, but the clock's certainly on Windsor's side at this point. Titans are going to try and force a turnover, but they also have no fouls to give. Windsor can wind it all the way down to 55 seconds left on the clock. Jones tried to swing it inside. Pass intercepted. Shamar Sutherland took that one away from Patillo. Lynn for three. Shot won't go. Strings tried to get to that one, but walks out of bounds. A foul called before that. Strings picks up his 5th. And the Express head to the free throw line looking to ice it.
Not impossible, but almost an insurmountable lead if Windsor's able to convert on both free throws. Horace Wormley, who's had a very strong game for Windsor, hits on the first, making it a 9-point game.
Not to mention Wormley, one of the best free throw shooters on the floor right now. Just under 90% this year, hits both, lead back up to 10. Smith draws the foul, don't count the basket. He'll head to the line.
Anderson picks up his 4th foul. Ashton Smith goes to the free throw line. With 41 seconds left, seems too little too late as Smith misses on the first.
Titans in the bottom 3 in terms of free throw percentage. And that might be dropping even more after this game. Off the technical earlier, Lynn missed the free throw. And Smith, in a last-ditch effort, misses both there. Wormley kick out to Jones. As the Express just wind down the clock. Misses the step back. But Windsor's going to win their 5th straight. What a statement after starting the year just 1-7. 1-6. The Express started the year. A rough stretch, and they take game 1 of the home and home. The Titans, well, they'll head down the 401 and take on the Express on Tuesday. Windsor evens the season series at 2 games apiece. And that slow start seems to be haunting the Titans once again. They faced a double-digit lead in the first quarter for the 2nd game in a row.
Well, Coach Cavell Johnson's got some work to do between now and Tuesday night when the team takes on the Windsor Express in Windsor. He's got to figure out how to get off to a better start, whether that means changing up his starting lineup even more so than he did tonight with just Glenn Whitfield going in for Derek Hall. You look at maybe Joel Friesen steps into that starting lineup. Maybe Damon Lynn gets a chance to step into that starting lineup. KW needs a better start to their games, even though they battled back. They need to get off to a better start. If they can play better off the jump, they'll have a better chance to win some games and break this 4-game losing streak.
They had a 5-game win streak, the longest in franchise history. Now they're on a 4-game losing streak, and they've dropped to 3rd in the Central. Titans in action on the road Tuesday. Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince will have the call from the WFCU Center at 7 Eastern. Then the Titans will return home Thursday, January 24th, to take on the Island Storm as they make their Central Division road swing. Once again, we'd like to thank you for spending your time with us. The Express win it by 8. For Jack Moore, I'm Ian Jodry. Good night from Kitchener.